Welcome back everyone to Crimson Dawn Tarot. Gonna do another reading for you guys today. Before I get started though, I felt called to say a little prayer. I know a lot of people since the eclipse have been going through it. These energies are definitely needed to be removed, and the eclipse is doing a good job at eclipsing these things out of our lives that need to go. So without further ado, I call upon our guides, angels, and ancestors, our protectors, and divine ones watching over us, whoever they may be. I ask for protection and wisdom for us and the courage to do the things that we know we need to do and to make the changes we know we need to make in our lives, and to not accept anything less except for the true divinity that lies in truth and its full expression of who we really are. I ask for these karmics to be eclipsed out of our lives and blocked, and for what they're doing to come back against themselves, for it's the only way they'll learn. Amen. So I didn't really have an idea of what kind of reading I wanted to do for you guys. I just know that I felt called to do a reading. So I'm going to start with my Angelarium deck and pull some cards from there, and we'll go from there. I hope everyone's been doing well since the eclipse, or as best as they can be. The energies have been pretty intense. I know for myself personally, during the eclipse, when it was actually the sun was eclipsing the moon, I witnessed a helicopter land and pick someone up who needed to be evac'd away to a hospital. It was pretty intense watching the helicopter fly down. It was like out of a movie, to be honest. But those are kind of the energies that was flying all over the world that day. So don't be alarmed if you're going through it right now. It's important, and it's definitely needed. So I feel called to draw 2 cards. In cards I drew, we have Sandalphon, the Angel of New Life. And then we have Shetiel, the Angel of Silence. Shetiel, the Angel of Silence. Words fail, the wind dies, the earth comes to a rest. Shetiel descends into stillness. New forms from all things emerge. Touched by the elusive fingers of the angel Shetiel, space fills with silence and void gains new meaning. We are held still by the grip of presence. Fear is useless as it is. Presence is almost always brief. Silence slides over your ears, enveloping your awareness completely, as if you've closed your eyes. Take a moment. Take the silence within you. Use it to still the tremors of your soul. Shetiel wills it. So if this message from Shetiel is for you, you'll see signs of a feather, a chair, or a person kneeling. And just as a reminder, for any time I mention these signs, some of these can be pretty, I mean, they're everywhere, you know, like a chair. Everyone has chairs. So to me, if it's a sign of a chair, if you do see a chair, and for it to be a sign, it would caught your attention. It'd be something out of the ordinary. But since this is the Angel of Silence, I'm going to take a little bit more time just to be quiet and let the silence kind of speak for a minute. You could take this time just to meditate a little bit and see if anything comes up for you. Angel Sandalphon, Angel of New Life. When the time is right, the twin angel will return. Sandalphon was the first, and now we follow it forward along the shoreline and into the water. Sandalphon's footsteps bring with it great fear, but also awe and hope. With each step, we move closer to the conclusion and a new beginning. Embrace this new epoch, which has come. What has come has already passed. What will be is still a dream. Sandalphon flows through it all. When a new era emerges, the blood of twin angels brings fertility to everything it touches. Angularium 2 was formed this way, so too will the next world, born in the wake of Sandalphon. Signs for this, if this is your message, is a wheel within a wheel, a child, and a spiral. Okay, I feel called to draw some scrying cards and see what messages come up. I'm called off the first one off the deck, which is simplicity. You know, silence can be very simple, but it can also be extremely deafening. I know a lot of people, especially people who've been through trauma, find it hard to sit in silence, find it hard to sit in stillness. It's as if everything they are will come crashing down if they just let the natural order flow and just be aware. If this is you, try to take things back to simplicity. Go be out in nature. Go enjoy a sunset or a sunrise. Spend time with a loved one in silence. Go for a walk. Listen to the breeze. Sometimes it's the simplest things that can have the most profound effects on us. Interesting. So I drew toxic. You know, for a lot of toxic creatures and plants in the wild, they always have indicators. They always have bright colors or some kind of pattern or something that grabs people's attention, as if they're trying to say, hey, I'm dangerous, stay away from me. And I think that's a good metaphor for our own lives. A lot of times when things are made are flashy or gimmicky or all kinds of colors and all kinds of things, it's in reality, all it's really doing is keeping you from seeing the bigger picture of your life. But toxicity itself can really grab your mind and make you focus on it instead. It wants to scream to the world, look at me, I'm in pain, look at me, I'm in suffering. And for good reason. If you get too close, if you partake in it, it could really damage or hurt you. So I think the message for this card is that just because something, not everything that glimmers is gold. And not everything that glimmers gold is good for you. And most of the time, something's reaching out, trying to grab your attention, trying to be all flashy and everything like that. It's a really good sign to step back and ask yourself, what are they really trying to say about themselves? Because in nature, it makes total sense. It's about survival. But when you get into the human realm, in our society, toxicity takes on a whole nother meaning, a whole nother role. And really, instead of being a way to preserve life, it just becomes a way to rob people of their awareness of other things around them. And that's pretty common when people get into narcissistic relationships. They first, the love bombing starts, they reel them in, and then bam, all the warning signs, everything starts popping up. And then people are stuck. And their lives are going passing them by, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. When if they would have just stopped and looked at the signs, they probably would have seen that this person or these people or this group was very toxic from the beginning. It's just we got caught up in thinking something toxic was actually something beautiful. I feel called. This deck is from this one. This one is The Voice of the Soul's Oracle by Isabel Karff. I haven't used this one yet. I don't believe so. Don't quote me on that. So I'm excited to try this out. What messages do you have for us, the Oracle? Me. We got message of a warning. Interesting. So I drew you. If you notice, the person in there seems to be meditating, maybe doing some mudras, doing some yoga poses. And then we have a message of warning. Okay. So let's see. I feel called to my created deck. Let's see. Stalling, Blaze, Moon, Foot. What is this message of warning? What is this message of warning about? So we have thought, feeling, manipulation, and implanting. So we have thought, feeling, manipulation / implanting, and dormant spells / spirits. I think a lot of people get caught up when they hear the word spells, so spirits or witchcraft, but I don't think a lot of people understand being manipulated can be just the same as someone trying to cast a spell on someone. And going back to narcissism, that's a very common tactic that narcissists will use. They want to manipulate the person. They want to love bomb them. They want to get them ungrounded and get them out of the real world into this illusion world so they can trap them. And eventually they'll reveal that these patterns, these beautiful things, was toxic all along. So for someone, the message might be you need to be aware of the people around you. They might be narcissists undercover that you're not aware of. And even if you are, not everyone deserves a chance to destroy you. You know, we think so many times we should give people the benefit of the doubt, but that's not true. And that can lead just to pain and suffering and a lot of stress and time wasted that you really don't need. You know, it is some people's lessons to deal with narcissists, but it's not everyone. Just because we experience these hardships and these things doesn't mean everything was a lesson. Sometimes, if there was a lesson, is that we should have made better choices within our lives and should have seen the signs before us to prevent these things from happening. So for dormant spells and spirits, to me, that really, like I said, being manipulation, being hoodwinked, bewitched, magnetism, almost being like hypnotized, to be honest. You need to be worried of that because a lot of narcissists do have very magnetizing personalities. It's part of their traits. It's part of the way they shape themselves to be. Because you got to remember, they're trying to trap you with their toxicity, but to do that, they have to make it look good. They have to make it look like it's something it's not. So to do that, they'll use a lot of illusions, a lot of love bonding, and whatever they can. And when they finally get you trapped, that love bombing will turn into a trauma bond very, very quickly. I've seen it way too many times for people. Okay. What else? Is there anything else that people need to be aware of? Terrified. Hex and Vex. So there's two sides to this card. Came out terrified, hex, and a vex. So one thing narcissists will use is fear. A lot of, if you go on, there's a lot of Facebook pages you can join for people dealing with narcissistic abuse or narcissistic relationships, and it's usually the same thing over and over again. I don't know what to do. I'm terrified. They're the breadwinners. They have me trapped. I have a kid with them. I have no money. I have no car. There will be every reason why they're trapped. You know, and there can be justified, but that fear keeps you locked in these situations. It keeps you locked with the narcissist. That is the narcissist's greatest weapon, is to keep you afraid and stuck. So, let's see what else. I feel called to a crystal. Let's pull a crystal card for you. Ooh. That's one I have not seen yet. This is agate. Agate is a banded chalcedony. A banded chalcedony comes in many forms. Elegant blue lace agate and iridescent fire agate are two. Each agate has its own unique vibe, but they all promote an energy of whenever you are, be there. Who needs this? People who are trying to balance their work life and people who are dealing with struggles. So another thing narcissists will do is to really try to get people ungrounded, and it becomes very hard for the people once they realize they're in a narcissistic relationship to gain their identity back, to be able to ground and feel their body out. It's almost like disassociation is something that the narcissist needs to happen for these people, for them to be able to be manipulated and tricked. Because if you know who you are and the power that you really hold, you won't put up for this stuff. You know, I know that's hard if you're already stuck in these situations. You're going to have to really work on calling your power back. It has to be done. You have to claim your power back, and you have to remain grounded in your body. So agate could be a really good crystal for you to help you keep you grounded, especially when the narcissist starts attacking you, starts picking at you, starts picking at all your flaws and everything that you're doing wrong. Or if you need to point out something to the narcissist too, because God forbid a narcissist is told that they did something wrong. It's the end of the world if that happens, and then they're being picked on, they're being abused and everything, and you're a bad person for bringing up your concerns to them. And it's almost like, how dare you? And that can be very ungrounding and traumatizing for a person. So maybe just carry pockets full of agates, or just have agates all over your house. And at the bottom of the card it says, find your solid ground. So this message definitely is for people who are dealing with narcissists or about to maybe get in a relationship with one. If you're about to get in a relationship with one and you know that they're a narcissist, I'm going to tell you right now, you're under their manipulation or their spell, and you need to really ground yourself and realize it's not worth it. It will never be worth it to be with a narcissist, no matter how good it looks right now. If you know that this person is a narcissist, it's only going to end with you being ungrounded, unbalanced, sad, depressed, and feeling lonely, because the narcissist is doing everything he can to destroy the identity that you have built before you went into the relationship, because he wants to manipulate you into a new version of that they created of you, which that can definitely be a hex easily. Everyone thinks spells are spoken words, but it's not. It's actions, it's plots, it's plans. You know, narcissists are good at spells. They really, really are, because they're really good at manipulating, because that's really all they know how to do. Once their illusions are broken and shown, it's watch that monster come out, because it will. So I also feel called to draw the other card on top of the deck, and this is obsidian. So obsidian is the black volcanic glass before the internet, before AI, before kitten food delivering drones. Like way back, early Homo sapiens were getting it done with obsidian tools, capable of holding an extremely sharp edge. Obsidian scalpels are used in surgeries today. Now, just a warning here. Some of the explanations on these cards are pretty funny. This is, whoever made this was definitely eccentric, but that's why one of the reasons I really like this deck. So who needs it? Anyone looking to cut out negative people and patterns from their lives. And I guess Scorpios. No offense to any Scorpios here. It was what's on the card. So where to put it? In your pocket, like a concealed weapon against bad vibes. When to use it? When thinking positively seems out of the question. When dark forces are at work. Dig in, arm yourself with obsidian, and throttle back. So I mean, really, that ties into that message. So maybe get some obsidian, lots of obsidian, and have it around your home. Have it in a safe space. If you have a office or something and you want to keep a narcissist out and you're trying to deal with one, maybe have a bunch of obsidian in your office, have a bunch of agate or something like that. And two, you can, I'm pretty sure you can go to like aquarium stores. I know I had before, for different types of obsidian and different crystals, to buy bulk crystals, like large pieces of crystal for pretty cheap. In fact, I actually did. I got this piece of, I believe they said it was either obsidian or tiger's eye, but I got that from aquarium for like $10 if even, I think. Okay. So let's see. So for those who are in a relationship with people who are magically inclined, such as witches, wizards, warlocks, whatever they call themselves, I'm going to use my deck that's more for people dealing with those kinds of situations and see what's going on for you guys. And that was super quick. So, Barakiel champions the innocent, teaches of the deep mysteries, a bridge between the powers of stars and earth, has the ability to filter magic off a human and aids those who are innocent. They have powerful connections to stars, alignments, and lightning. Can be called upon when a person's destiny has been cursed or blocked by integrating magic that uses one's astrological chart as a frame for the curse. Works through electricity, lightning. Can be asked to intervene in a very serious curse that when a person who has been cursed is innocent. Being with a narcissist can be a curse. It really can, you know. You put so much of your life and your time into a person only to realize that person never existed. It was just an illusion. There's really a demon waiting behind that illusion of the angel. And that can really hurt, and that can be a curse on a person. It can destroy a person's life. And usually it does a lot. So I'm really going to state it again. I know I said it a few times, but if you're thinking about getting in a relationship with a narcissist, do not do it. Just refuse and move on. It may hurt a little bit. Do cord removal, not cutting, removal, because when you cut, you leave a piece behind. So removal, do cord removal, take your spiritual baths, do your cleansings, go be out in nature, and work on yourself instead. And try to ask yourself, what is drawing you to a narcissist? You know, there's an old legend that a narcissist is the devil's attempt at creating the empath that was created by God, but that he failed and that they became the exact opposite of what a true empath is. You know, so a lot of times what ends up happening is empaths will be drawn to narcissists for whatever reason, whatever justification they may have, and they get drained, they get fed off of. And the narcissist just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and their lives will get better as the empaths just get worse and worse. But, you know, if you are dealing with this, you're not alone. Call on your guides, call on your angels, call on your ancestors, call on God, goddesses, whoever or wherever you believe in. Even if you just want to call it to the universe itself, do that. But you don't have to do it alone. And if you need therapy, definitely go get therapy. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself free of this, because it's your life. You're not going to be alive forever. And God forbid you spend 20, 30 years with the narcissist and your life is completely destroyed and you're like in your 50s or 60s having to rebuild your life. I can't think of a more harsher punishment just for trying to love on someone, you know? Because that's really what it comes down to with the narcissist. They want to punish you for even being with them, even though they won't admit it. Okay, so I've talked a lot about that. Let's see if there's any other cards that pop out. Is there any other cards? Obstruction/overgrowth could mean a positive destroyer power is bound or suppressed, or it could mean something similar is happening to the victim, the body/their body. Find inner cause, deal with them. Addictions, bad habits, negative inner emotions, unprocessed emotions. So I'm beating a dead horse here, but that's a tactic a narcissist will use. They'll get you to have these emotions that are too painful to deal with, so you can't process them, so you can't be inside your body, so you can't ground, so you can't connect. They want total control over you, and they will get that any means possible, or they will leave you high and dry. If they can't control you, they will absolutely get rid of you and discard you to find another victim that they can manipulate. So what can you guys do yourselves? What can the people do or work on that'll help them with these narcissists? Is this the right deck? Wait. I don't think that's the right deck. Let's check this one. Yep. What can the collective do to help themselves get rid of these narcissists? Okay, one more. Interesting. So cleanse space is a big one. You're going to have to bring in positive, high vibrational energies. Narcissists don't want high vibing people. They want to feed off of them, but they don't want those people to stay in that high vibing energy. As much as a paradox as that sounds, it's the truth. They want to feed on you to the point to where you become a husk, and then they can point out all your flaws and all your mistakes to you. So cleansing your space is definitely a big one. Like I said, there's obsidian you can get, agate, you can have it around your space. You can get room sprays. Rosemary sprays are really good for cleansing spaces. So is hyssop. Taking hyssop baths is a really good way to cleanse yourself. Going to beaches, going out in nature, grounding with trees, gardening, anything really that grounds you back into your body will also be very cleansing as well. But definitely make sure you have a sacred space within yourself. Make it a no narcissist zone. So also what came out was do tarot readings, which go figure. I mean, that's what I'm doing for you right now. But if you're a tarot reader or an oracle reader, do some readings for yourself and really just dig into them. Find out if they're narcissistic. And if you're already in a situation with a narcissist, find out what you need to do to get out of this situation. Because it won't get any better until you leave. And even when you do leave, sometimes a lot of narcissists, they'll say they change their ways. They'll even try to show you that they have until they catch you, until you come back again, and then they got you. It's that they can get you stuck in a repeating cycle of that, of loving on you, love bombing you, only for you to come back and then get caught up in the whole same thing in a different way. I've seen it too many times with too many people. And the last card is spiritual quartz. Now, for quartz in general, if you're being abused physically, gather evidence, do what you need to do to get away from these people. You don't deserve the abuse no matter what they say, and it's not your fault that they abused you. You are not the reason for them being fucked up like they are. You are not responsible for their actions. No matter what they tell you or how much they try to blame you, a narcissist will never accept the fact that it's their fault they are the way they are because they refuse to change and they refuse to do the work that they need to do. So if you're being abused, don't take that, especially if you got children, because it'll just go down to them. Either they'll be abused or they'll become narcissists themselves, or it'll be both. A lot of times it's both. They get abused and become narcissists, and the cycle repeats itself. You are going to be half the one to break these cycles because a narcissist will never do it. I feel drawn to some tarot. Let's draw some tarot cards. What messages do you have for the collective dealing with narcissists or thinking of getting with a relationship with a narcissist? So we drew the Five of Cups, which the Five of Cups is all about grief, loss, self-pity, despair, disappointment, disillusionment, fear of risk, and mourning. You know, really, you're going to have to dig in to get away from these people. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist for a while, it can hurt. It can very well be painful. You know, and energetically speaking, that's because they set it up that way. They want you to be drawn into them, to need them. And it's crazy because they need you. But they're the ones that can't admit that. And when you try to tell them that, they'll never admit it. They'll never listen to you. Even if they could acknowledge it, they won't admit it. And then the Queen of Pentacles reversed. The Queen of Pentacles reversed is all about undecided, capricious, moody, foolish, suffocating, nagging, materialistic, and jealous. That's everything. I mean, it's not everything a narcissist is, but it's a good chunk of it, you know. So really, just do what you got to do to get rid of this Queen of Pentacles, these reversed, these people. It may hurt, but it's so much better, and you'll get your life back so much sooner. Because nothing hurts more than something that you keep putting off. You know, I smoked cigarettes for about 15 years, and it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do was quit smoking cigarettes. But the way that I did it, I did go cold turkey, but I realized that no matter what, I'm going to suffer. You can't escape the suffering if you want to get free of this. But the truth is, you're going to suffer a lot longer if you keep going back compared to just being done with it. And that idea got me through it all. It got me through the suffering. It got me through the withdrawals. It got me through all of it, that I knew that my suffering would not last compared to it going on and on and on if I kept smoking cigarettes. So do what you got to do and get yourself out of there. Don't make excuses, because excuses will not bring you results. Before you know it, you'll either be down and out homeless while the narcissist is mocking you, saying, look at her, she can't even take care of herself, or they can't even take care of themselves. And you have to rebuild yourself when you could have done it years ago if you would just put up with the pain and suffering. And you know, some of your excuses may be justified, but they will not bring you results. That's the thing I need people who are dealing with narcissists to understand, is you cannot rely on any excuse, because no matter how justified it is, it will only keep you in the perpetual situation that you're in. True freedom comes from willing to suffer, willing to break the mold, willing to do what it takes to be free. No matter how hard it is, you have the power within yourself to do it. Okay. This is for my Shadow Oracle deck. Let's see, what shadow aspects does the collective need to work on themselves? What shadow aspects does the collective need to work on themselves that are dealing with narcissists? So addiction came out. Addictions. Think about the emotions you are trying to cover up. Deal with those emotions, process, heal, and release them. Like I said, going back to the tactics of the narcissist, one real powerful thing that they do is they try to get you ungrounded, try to get you emotionally unstable, not be able to work on yourself, not being able to meditate, not being able to really deal with what you need to deal with, because they got you so wrapped up in all their bullshit that you really can't focus on yourself. So one of the biggest steps that you can take right away is getting back into meditation, getting back into working on your emotions, getting back to working on your triggers as well. And you know, it can be addicting. Narcissists can be addicting. The situations you get into them can be addicting. The fights, all of it. Not having peace for years on end and always fighting becomes comfortable for people, unfortunately. And there's nothing worse than an empath who's comfortable being stuck in shitty situations, because they're screwed more than they realize. Until they are willing to do what they need to do to get away, they're in trouble. And the other card that came out was prejudice. What if you were categorized into a group and given attributes that were false without truly knowing who you are? This goes back to the identity that the narcissist tries to put onto you. Because a narcissist can't control someone who's in their divinity, standing in their truth, standing in their love and compassion and justice and their strength. They have to create an image of you that they can bring prejudice against. You know, a lot of times what will happen is when you try to bring something up to a narcissist, saying, well, you did this and I'm not happy about this, what they'll instantly do is they'll have something that they know pisses you off and they'll use it against you. Like, well, you do this and I don't like that. That'll always happen. It's always the blame game with the narcissist. There's no winning with trying to argue or reason with narcissists. You just need to get away. I know I've said that a lot, but please do yourself a favor and don't waste years of your life being stuck with a narcissist. From my own personal experience, I've dated one, and she was pretty messed up, you know, but I loved her. Or I thought I did. And I was more addicted to the image of her until I realized like how truly toxic and broken this person was. And it wasn't even that she was broken, it was just that she refused to heal, didn't see anything wrong with herself, even though she was constantly picking, constantly nagging, you know, doing stuff behind my back, but it was never her fault. She would not accept responsibility for her choices. It was like dating a kid. And it's funny, I got away from her years ago, and I cut her off cold turkey. And she actually called my number a month after we broke up, bawling her eyes out, crying. I could tell she was drunk, but she tried to apologize, she tried to say all these things, and then she wouldn't even let me get a word, and then hung up on me. When years later, I actually did contact her again, and I asked her about it, and all she could say is, that sounds like something I would do. Like, to justify that, like being in pain and something, like, oh, it's just something I would do, I guess. Like, that doesn't make any sense, you know. And a lot of narcissists have to play mind games to make their logic make sense. But I speak from experience when talking from this. It's not worth it. They're never worth it. They'll never change. You're just wasting your life trying to make something happen that'll never happen. And honestly, I think narcissists were put on this earth for people maybe to have some lessons, but more so that they take people off their paths, off their divine paths that they're supposed to be on, and even away from divine counterparts that they're really supposed to be with. Because I don't think the universe has this plan to spend 30, 20, 10 years with the narcissist, have kids with them, only to be broken down, be destroyed, not healed, be a shell of your former self, drained, and everything, really, your whole identity be taken away from you. That doesn't sound like a lesson that the universe would try to give somebody. What it sounds like is you got caught up in someone's trap, the devil's trap. Okay. What's our time at? We are at 36. Let me draw some more tarot. What else does the collective need to know about these narcissists? Tell us more. You know, and one thing too, for you people who are tarot readers that are stuck with narcissists right now, one thing you can do to kind of take back your power is start reading their energies with your cards. Interesting. So we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Let's move back to what I just said, that I don't think the universe is trying to send these things to people as lessons, that it's more that the devil's trying to take people off their path, out of their Wheel of Fortunes, and put them in reverse. But back to what I was saying, you know, do readings on the energy of the narcissist. Start reading them. They'll hate it. I'll guarantee you. If they're truly a narcissist, they might start picking up on it, to be honest with you. Or they'll start coming in when you start trying to read on them. And that's a huge sign you need to get the hell out of there. And so the other card I drew was the Nine of Wands reversed, which is frustrated, defensive, anxious, obstinate, delay, and disaster. You know, these cards really, I mean, they speak for themselves here. You just got to get away. And I know I'm beating the dead horse saying the same thing over and over again, but the spell, the hoodwink, needs to be broken off of you so you can understand what kind of situation you're really in. Because the problem is, right now, you're comfortable being in these toxic relationships. You're comfortable being afraid. You're comfortable with everything the narcissist has put you through, because that's what they got you, and else they wouldn't be with you anymore. So you need to break through that comfortability and get out of your comfort zone. You should be frustrated. You should be defensive with them. It should make you anxious to be stuck another day with these persons, because you will not live forever. You are wasting your life away on these narcissists, and there is no excuse that you will be able to give, no how much you try to justify, that will bring you a solution to your answer to get away from them. Excuses will not help you with this. Justifications will not help you with this. You need to do whatever you can, no matter how much it hurts, or whatever justification you have, to get away. Because at the end of the day, if you follow those excuses and justifications, that's all you'll have left, and all the pain that they caused you. All right, so let's see. So what way are the narcissists keeping the collective bound right now? What way are the narcissists keeping people bound right now? Spell work on spouse/partner. Goes back to that manipulation. You know, I guess I'll say it again. Manipulating a person is like doing a spell on them. And then foot track magic. So for me, if it's not someone practicing hoodoo or voodoo, trying to do all kinds of spells on you and something like that, what it means is tracking. They may be stalking you, maybe watching where you're going and stuff like that to see. You know, it can get pretty nasty and pretty scary with narcissists because they don't trust you. Because they think it'd be stupid to, because they know how they act and they know the wicked, evil things that they're doing behind your back. And they would be dumb to them for them to be doing all the things that they're doing to you to think that you're not doing that to them. So they'll stalk you, they'll hack your phones, they'll track you, they'll stalk your family members, they'll do all kinds of weird, gross shit to try to keep you locked and bound to them. You know, I feel like I'm talking about a parasite, and really, when it comes down to it, that's what it is. These narcissists are parasites we need to get rid of. Okay, I'm going to draw another shadow card. Let's see. What else can the collective work on right now to help themselves? Okay. So we have narrow-minded. You have a limited outlook on perspective and thoughts. What makes you think your thoughts are solid gold? You know, a narcissist's worst nightmare is when you start questioning the things that you say instead of just agreeing with them. You know, I mean, a lot of people will just do that. And I mean, that can be frustrating to them too, but nothing hurts a narcissist worse than being questioned, because to them, that's questioning their authority. That's questioning everything they built their image around. When you question that, that really, really hurts them. Self-absorbed. Seek to feel what others are feeling. Express empathy to overcome this. To others to overcome this. If you have people around you that are willing to help, reach out to them. You're not a burden to these people. You know, if you truly have people who love and care for you, reach out to them. Reconnect with them. A lot of narcissists, the whole point is to get you isolated from everyone and everything. So when you start reconnecting, that's a really good way to bring in new energies and helpful energies. Even if you got to find support groups on Facebook, watching YouTube videos, trying to connect with others dealing with narcissistic people, even if it's the self-help videos, whatever you can to really try to connect with others in the situation will really help you overcome it. Let's see. I actually do feel called to draw from my I Ching deck, which I do not have open, so give me 1 second. Throw this out. What message do you have for the collective? What message does I Ching have for the collective? Interesting. So number 50, the Crucible / Cosmic Order. Here's the card so you can see it. You know, going back into that other card that I just talked about with the self-absorbed, seek to feel what others are feeling, express empathy, and connect to others to overcome this. You know, if you look, you can see it looks like a group of people working together to create something more than themselves. Okay. On the one hand, the crucible symbolizes the giving of physical nourishment. On the other hand, it stands for soul food. That is to say, spiritually, in respect of your personal life, this means that a piece of cosmic harmony is realized within your being. Perhaps you might need to make a sacrifice, but you will be richly rewarded for it. Sorry about that. and be richly rewarded for it. All your endeavors for something higher and more revealing are supported. Accept and make use of the chance to direct your powers towards what is really significant and essential. You can even develop a sense for the laws of the universe and learn how complete harmony is realized in yourself. This will enrich your life in a wonderful way. So, you're going to have to sacrifice what you thought you had with this narcissist at the beginning to get free of this. You're going to have to sacrifice some stuff to get out of this. That goes back to that suffering, You're going to suffer no matter what. It's either you suffer for a little bit and get free and start your healing process, or you just continue the patterns of suffering and the cycles of never-ending suffering with the narcissist. But there is more waiting for you. The universe, the cosmic universe is saying to you, you have a piece of cosmic reality within yourself, that you were meant to be working with people, not stuck and alone and afraid. So I also do feel called for the top of the deck to draw this card, and this is 61. You can see this, The reason I'm drawn to this card right now for you guys is it's a mirror, it's a reflection. It's something a narcissist tries to take from you and tries to recreate in their own image. It's something the narcissist can't really look at themselves. But also, too, for me, it symbolizes you doing the inner work you need to do and really looking at yourself as you are now and realizing some harsh truths about yourself you may not have been willing to see, but you need to do self-reflection. So 61, inner truth. You must have access to what lies inside yourself and other people to use the power of inner truth. Approach your environment as openly and free of prejudice as possible. When judging conditions, relationships, or people, try to distance yourself from your own desires and aims. This is the only way you can achieve an object point of view without distorting reality. Even people who are difficult to approach will open up to you, and you yourself will learn to understand their motives. Insight into inner truth gives your mind a clarity and brings goodness and sincerity to your deep feelings and character. An attitude which arises quite naturally in you brings the friendship of other people. Taking a step back, I think, is a really good idea, and it will give you a better perspective. If you were looking at your situation as if you were someone looking on the outside, what would you tell yourself? Would you tell them to just accept the excuses and the reasons why to stay? Or would you tell them that they're just hurting themselves? What would you say to a person that was you in the situation you're in? If you want to journal or write that out, that sounds like a very good exercise to try to, as an outside person, to tell yourself everything you think that person needs to hear. You might be very surprised by what you write down and how intelligent and wise you really are. Okay. So for the last part, I do feel called to bring this reading to an end, but the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some cards from my Warrior Angel deck, my Rainbow Warrior Activation deck by Justine Cerberin. You're going to have to, one message I got right away is you are going to have to be a warrior, but you're going to have to access the inner warrior in yourself, and that doesn't mean constant fights. That doesn't mean nitpicking and trying to fight the narcissist with narcissism. It just doesn't work. That does mean being strong and standing in your truth regardless of what the narcissist tries to tell you of who you are. It does mean standing your ground, but in a gentle way. In a way where it'll make the narcissist look bad for even trying to bring these things, these accusations against you for just trying to point out things that they do. And again, I'm not trying to help you to stay in a relationship with them because that's not the right answer. You need to get away from them. but how you do it is be extremely important. Because they're going to try to make you out to be the bad guy. There's no doubt about it. They'll try to turn your friends against you, your family against you, anyone that they can. They'll try to turn an ally for them, an enemy against you. That's what narcissists do. Do you have a card for the collective or cards for the collective, please? What messages do they need to? That's a lot. Okay, I'll take it. So now I'm kind of clustered here with my little space here. So let me just kind of clear some of these cards up real quick. Again, don't forget, obsidian and agate can really help you with the situations that you're in and dealing with these narcissists. Especially while sleeping. If you share a bed with your narcissist, one thing you can do is start wearing crystals to bed for protection. Have them in your pillow, have them around your ankles, have them around your wrists or on your neck, or even wearing crystal earrings to bed can help you, protect you. Get some holy water. You can place it on your third eye chakra. You can place it on all your chakras. Your soul gate on the back of your neck, your spine, where your kundalini rises and descends. Your feet, on the bottom of your feet, on your hands. Really, if you want to just go back to what I was talking about with those spiritual baths, just do it right before you go to bed. Or even if you can't take a bath, what you can do is you can take a spiritual shower. And what I like to do for spiritual showers is I'll get some salt. I'm actually an ordained priest, so I'll bless the salt, I'll consecrate it, and I'll put some essential oils like lavender. Hyssop is a really good one on the salt. And then I'll put a pile on the floor in the shower, and I'll stand on it. And I just visualize all the negativity, all other people's emotions, all other people's cords, attacks, everything negative just leaving my body and being pulled out by the salt. And once you're done, you can just have the salt just be rinsed away by the water. So we'll leave these two out. Okay, these away. Don't forget, if you're a tarot reader, definitely start just reading the narcissist energy. They'll hate it. I'm telling you, it'll drive them insane. Just start reading their energy. Just start asking all kinds of questions like, what are their thoughts? How are they feeling? What are they trying to hide? What don't they want me to know? What don't they want others to know? What are they scared of? What do they fear? What makes them feel humiliated? What makes them feel insecure? Even if you don't bring it up to them, just having that knowledge will be an energy that they really won't like. But that can give you some power over them. But again, how you use it will be important. You don't want to use it just to try to tear and break them down, because then they won and you're just as narcissistic as they are now. Instead, use it to stand in your truth. Use it to not be belittled. Use it to empower yourself, knowing that these people are no better than anybody else, if not worse, because they refuse to do the work. I'm going to leave this one out so you can see these. Okay. So for the 4 cards I pulled, these don't really have names or identifiers. It's just more about the art and the number. So I'm just going to show you the artwork, and I'll go identify them by the number that I had. So number 25, 38, 27, and 48. For those who practice angel numbers or believe in angel numbers or numerology, you can definitely use this. Look up these numbers, and they might have other meanings for you. If not, that's okay. But I've said it a few times, but I absolutely love the artwork in this deck. It's one of my favorite decks because of how beautiful these cards are. 38. And 2, you can take some time, pause the video, and meditate on the images of these cards and use them to scry with as well. The energies of these cards are very sacred to me and very, very full of information. And if you're into light codes, these definitely hold light codes as well. 27. And last but not least, 48. So let's start with 25. Empath, juxtaposition, deep feeling, embrace, fortitude, transmutation. Understanding is the great healer, and empathy teaches us to understand. Healing traditions all around the globe practice the art of reconnection to the Creator, to ourselves, and to others. In reality, we are never actually disconnected. The idea of division in all of the ways it may appear to you is an illusion to be repaired and transitioned. How can you look at the subject at hand from a new vantage point, cultivating your empathy by tuning in and asking to feel what other feels can transcend words? It creates a bridge and a bond that strengthens everyone. You are a healer. What do you need to heal? Going back, I said it, you want to reconnect with the people that have you disconnected from. Try to have empathy and feel what those others who truly love you, especially your family members and friends, how they feel for you. And if your friend's the narcissist, I'd be very careful with doing that, though. No matter what title or position the narcissist has in your life, the tactics are usually the same, so just be aware of that. So, 27. Well, I guess there is, man. So this one's for the heart chakra. Compassion, love, fullness, emptiness, generosity, eternity, adoration. The heart is the crossroads between our human body and the Creator. The first organ to manifest in a human embryo is the heart, from which the tongue grows. Every word we speak or kiss we give is an expression of our divine power in the physical world, and it is wise to treat as such. Expanding your view of the current experience or situation to a more heartful place can have a profound impact on the timing and expediency needed to transform what's inside or outside of you. Crying tears of truth releases what no longer suits you. Create a space for what is now needed. You are eternally adored, every part always. So what popped in my head while listening or reading this to you is that maybe you want to make a ritual of putting to death of what you had with the narcissist. A lot of people believe in sympathetic magic, and really what that is doing one thing to represent something else. Like doing a ritual of burying something that the narcissist gave to you as a way of saying this relationship's done and I'm free of this. Energetically speaking, you send a signal out to the universe when you use sympathetic magic that way. Also, don't forget to work on your heart chakra and bring your heart chakra back open, because narcissists work very hard to either cord themselves to your heart chakra or completely shut it off if they can't feed off of it. So 38. And I just realized now too that I was wrong. They don't have the names on the cards themselves, but they actually do on the picture itself. So 25, just to recap, was the healer. So 38 is release. Completion, neutrality, shift, alter, boundary, void, receive. If you're going to do something at all, you might as well do it right the first time. Definitely a philosophy we've all heard once or twice. There's nothing truer than when making efforts to let go of something you no longer need or want in your life. The idea of release is less about getting rid of something and more about changing your relationship to it. It's true, we release physical things, but unless we change our relationship to them, we draw them back in another form. Letting go, then, is akin to refocusing your energy in another direction. To be able to do that, you'll need the information and understanding required to complete the process of releasing, comprehending why you had something in the first place, honoring its memory and grieving its loss, and finally adjusting your attention to something that better serves your current needs. That's something I haven't really touched on, is once you do really put in the work to get away from this narcissist, you're going to have to fill it back in with something else, fill in that space. So if you want to do a ritual to say to the universe that I am divine, that you are a divine being, that you claim back all your power that was stolen from you, more power to you. Whatever you do, you're going to have to refocus yourself, like this card was mentioning, to something else, to a new adventure, a new experience, or even new people. But you're really going to have to work on yourself once you get out of this narcissistic relationship, else you're just going to draw in the same things in different ways. Because narcissists, they all have the same tactics. It's just the same thing in different ways. So really, you're going to have to work on your energy. If you've been with a narcissist for too long, you're going to have to work on reprogramming yourself. You're going to have to, I would go get therapy if you can afford it. If not, watch videos on YouTube, do self-healing work, study psychology, spiritual psychology, esoteric psychology, whatever you can to rebuild yourself and make a new version of yourself that's not bound by what the karmics or what the narcissist said about you, will really help you to get free from these people. And last but not least, 48. Union. Lovers, romance, sexuality, anger, intermingle, connection, intersection. Love's first connection with the partner is deliciously profound but ultimately fleeting. Romantic sexuality offers an opportunity to cultivate unspoken understanding, but it's the job of each partner to seize the opportunity. Connecting with others ideologically and emotionally, spiritually, and physically doesn't guarantee agreement. However, it can give a deeper understanding of one another, promoting love, compassion, and forgiveness. Choosing this card today augurs the need for some form of unification relating to your current situation. Allow yourself to meditate on your heart's desire and what it means if you were to be fulfilled. Remember, relationships with others are the ways we learn compassion for ourselves. You know, for me, I see this card in the context of the message that I've been giving out today about narcissists, that you may have thought you had these connections with these people ideologically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, but you got to realize that it was an illusion, that they don't even like themselves most of the time, and they have to put an image. You didn't have these things with the narcissist. You had it with the image of who you thought they were before they showed their true colors. And you're going to have to take these things back. Your ideologies, your emotions, your spiritual and physical connections. You're going to have to really cut those back and really work on giving those things to yourself first. You know, we can love on ourselves sexually as well. I'm not going to go into that, but we need to learn on how to love ourselves, how to be spiritually connected with ourselves, how to be emotionally connected to who we are as well. Because a lot of that gets lost in a relationship with a narcissist. But other than that, I think that's it. But just to be sure, I'm going to use my coin. Is there anything else the collective needs to know about this message? Yes. Interesting. Oh, I did feel called to this. So I do have this card, the crystal card on top of the deck. I've been looking at it this whole time. So this is hematite. So maybe go get yourself some hematite as well. Hematite is a metallic charcoal that takes its name from the Greek word for blood. Like blood, it's full of iron. And like blood, hematite moves the good to where you need it and takes the bad away from where you don't. So I would say right off the bat, you can use this card to really help remove the cords and hooks that the narcissists have you, remove those energies that they have imprinted on you, and even remove their imprints energetically speaking. And especially for sacred space. So to kind of recap for crystals, hematite, agate, and then obsidian would be really great crystals to have in your sacred space to kind of separate yourself from the energies of a narcissist. But to be honest with you, I would keep them sacred. I would keep them hidden maybe in a box somewhere. Have like a little protected box for them so they don't get drained by the narcissist themselves. Because at the end of the day, a narcissist will feed off of whatever they can get. Because they can't feed themselves. They don't care as long as they're feeding. So anything else the collective needs to know? That's it. So I hope you enjoyed my message today. And if you are going with these situations, just keep your chin up. You can definitely get through this. But you got to make the steps to get through it. Like for me, when I quit smoking after 15 years, that realization was everything to me. You're going to suffer no matter what. But you'll continuously suffer if you don't do what you need to do to get out of these situations and these relationships with these people. And if you're thinking about getting into one and how bad could it be, stop right now. Go watch videos about people who survived narcissistic abuse and then really think if it's worth it. Because I'll tell you right now, it's not, and you're going to take yourself off your path and down a road you do not want to go on. So, blessings and light to all, and I wish you guys nothing but the best. Have a good day. Bye.